How does photosynthesis create chemical energy from sunlight? Imagine a tiny factory inside each green leaf, working tirelessly to turn sunlight into something living things can use. That's what photosynthesis does. It's a process that plants, algae, and some bacteria use to make their own food. But how does sunlight, which is just light energy, become stored chemical energy? Let's find out. First, sunlight hits the plant's leaves, which are packed with special molecules called pigments. The most common pigment is chlorophyll. This pigment absorbs sunlight, especially the blue and red parts of the light spectrum. When chlorophyll absorbs this light, it excites the electrons inside the molecule, boosting them to a higher energy level. Think of it like giving electrons a jump start. These high-energy electrons then travel through a series of proteins embedded in the membranes inside the chloroplasts, called the electron transport chain. As electrons move along this chain, their energy is used to pump protons or hydrogen ions across the membrane. This creates a difference in charge and concentration, known as a proton gradient. This gradient acts like a battery, storing energy. Next, an enzyme called ATP synthase uses this stored energy to produce adenosine triphosphate, or ATP. ATP is a molecule that stores energy and from that cells can easily use to power various activities. At the same time, another molecule called nicotinamide adenine dinucleotide phosphate, or NADP+, accepts electrons and hydrogen ions to become NADPH, another energy-rich molecule. Meanwhile, water molecules are split during this process, releasing oxygen as a byproduct. This splitting provides the electrons that replace those lost by chlorophyll, keeping the process going. It also produces oxygen that we breathe every day. The ATP and NADPH produced are then used in the next stage called the Calvin cycle. In this phase, carbon dioxide from the air is fixed into organic molecules like glucose. Using energy from ATP and NADPH, enzymes help attach carbon atoms from CO2 from sugars. These sugars store chemical energy in their bonds. So, sunlight is initially captured by chlorophyll, then converted into high-energy electrons. These electrons travel through the electron transport chain, creating a proton gradient that powers ATP production. The energy stored in ATP and NADPH is then used to assemble sugars from carbon dioxide. This entire process transforms light energy into chemical energy, which fuels the growth and survival of plants and, ultimately, all living things on Earth. It's a beautiful example of how physics principles of energy transfer and transformation work seamlessly with biological systems.